Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda Marsalis. Welcome to Heard It on the Shark. Heard It on the Shark is a weekly interview show that airs every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Shark 102.3 FM radio station based in Ripley, Mississippi. Then it's released as a podcast on all the major podcast platforms. You'll hear interviews with the movers and shakers in North Mississippi who are making things happen. I'll talk to entrepreneurs, leaders of business, medicine, education, and the people behind all the amazing things happening in North Mississippi. When people ask you, how did you know about that? You'll say, I heard it on the Shark. Musical credit belongs to Hill Country Blues guitar legend Gary Burnside and the late great Buddy Grisham, playing Long Way Home from their album Acoustic Brothers, which was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
This program was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda with another episode of Heard It on the Shark. And today in Sun Bear Studio, I have with me the Chief Nursing Officer for Baptist Booneville, Miss Fiona Howell. Fiona, thanks for driving over today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Now, you know that you are part of our Great Nursing series, and I'm excited to learn about your job. We have already interviewed a Chief Nursing Officer from Magnolia Regional, Miss Dana Murphy. She was earlier in the series. And you have that same job, but I'll bet money it's not exactly the same.
I'm sure some of it might be similar, but we're different size hospitals, different corporations. So things look a little bit different, but ultimately, you know, we watch over and see over our nurses and make sure that they're practicing safely and doing what they need to do.
So you didn't just pop out of nursing school and become a chief nursing officer. Tell me, first of all, about your educational career.
Okay, mine's a little bit on the different side. I was not raised in the United States. I was raised in Australia, and my dad was in the Air Force, and so we traveled a lot, and I just decided in the 11th grade I was going to quit school and go to work at Kmart. So broke my dad's heart because he always wanted me to have an education. I got married, moved to the United States, and started having babies. And at 40, I decided I needed to get my high school diploma. So I enrolled in Northeast and got my GED, and then had some great people at Northeast who encouraged me to enroll into college. And I wanted to do nursing, had always wanted to be in nursing. My mother had been in nursing school and had to drop out because she got married. And so I thought this was something that I really could honor her, but also something I wanted to do. I had a premature baby years before. And dealt with nursing staff in the NICU in Memphis. And so I really did realize that was something I wanted to do. So I enrolled in college, and when I was 43, I was accepted into nursing school at Northeast, graduated, and then I started actually at Baptist a few years before that as a unit clerk in the emergency department. So that got me into the hospital environment. And then when I graduated in 2013, I became a med-surg nurse. And shout out to all the med-surg nurses because they are truly the specialty in nursing because they have to know a whole lot about everything. So I love my med-surg nurses. And I did that, went to the ER a year and a half later and became an ER nurse, and then was given the opportunity to become the manager in 2017 and got to be the manager during COVID, which was that's a whole nother series of nursing during COVID. And then in 2021, I was given the opportunity to be the chief nursing officer. So it has been a journey. I had to do my bachelor's to be able to stay in the management role. So I went to Western Governors University online, and it was a great program. And then decided for my dad I was going to do my master's for him, and I started my master's program the day I started as chief nursing officer, and it was not planned. That's just how it worked out, but I needed my master's to be able to be in this role. So I do have a bachelor's and master's from Western Governors University.
Okay, Fiona, that story right there is exactly why I never find out before an interview what the story is. That's amazing.
Yeah. So non-traditional all the way.
Non-traditional all the way. And I would have never just looking at you, I would have never guessed all that. That is amazing that you've done such a heroic thing.
It was definitely challenging with 4 children and 2 jobs and going to school, but it just proves you can do it.
Some of us can't take the easy route, can we?
That's never been my life. I've never been able to take the easy route. I always have to do things the hard way and learn the hard way. But that's okay. That's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, after the interview, we'll have to talk a little bit more about that psychology. All right. You said med-surg nurse, which I've never heard of. Please explain that.
So a med-surg nurse is medical surgical. So those are our patients that come in. They could have COPD, a pneumonia, UTI, cellulitis. They're not quite to the level of a step-down or an ICU. So this is then patients that are surgical could be anything from they've had the gallbladder, appendix removed, but might need an overnight stay for IV antibiotics, fluids, things like that. So these nurses have to be prepared to be able to treat any type of illness and any surgery that a general surgeon would do, and be able to take care of them and switch from one specialty to the other. So they may be recovering a patient that's just had a gallbladder removed and then taking care of a patient next door with pneumonia. So there's all kinds of things, and they really are the true heroes because there's so many things that they need to keep up with and know, so to be watching for in case that patient goes bad.
Okay, so this is exactly why I wanted to do this series, what you just said. There are so many different ways to be a nurse.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like, I don't know, like how many birds there are in the world or how many different there's just, like you have specialty nurses who do the same thing every day, and they get really good at one thing. And then you have, like you said, that med-surg nurse who has to flip-flop their brain every time they walk into another patient's room and be ready to drop what they had going on before and immerse in that.
And then the age ranges of the patients. You know, we might have a 21-year-old that's just got her gallbladder removed, and then we could have an 85-year-old, you know, that's in-stage dementia but has a UTI, and that's causing them to be a little confused and things like that. So you want to be watching for vital signs, and you want to watch for any type of cognitive changes, behavioral changes. I mean, there's so many things. The needs of toileting is different. You know, this one might be able to walk to the bathroom, but you've got to be careful so they don't fall. And then you've got this one that can't get out of bed, so you're doing total care. So really the range of nursing is crazy on med-surg.
So if a person is deciding to become a nurse, it really doesn't matter how old you are.
Nope.
It doesn't matter what gender you are.
Nope.
It doesn't matter your educational background, and it doesn't matter your personality.
No.
Because you can just say, okay, I'm going to be a nurse, and then fit the nursing program or the career of nursing to you.
Exactly. And I think that's what the beauty of nursing is. I think that, you know, it used to be bedside only, but there's so many. I've got 2 children that are nurses. My son is a nurse. He's a psychiatric nurse. Never thought that would ever happen, but he likes that side. He likes true psychiatric issues. So he works with adult psych patients that are schizophrenic and personality issues, and works in a group home with them out west. My daughter's an ER nurse. She didn't want to do that. She wanted to be labor and delivery. She thought that would be something, but during her training and everything, she realized ER is what she likes. She likes the fast pace. But there's infection prevention. There is education. We have a nursing staff development nurse that she's the one that makes sure that we're following the policies, that we have all the educational things that the nurses, because we're constantly learning or keeping up with our skills, things like that. But then I've got a nursing informatics nurse who keeps us, we're on the electronic medical record. Well, that's called Epic. Well, there's all kinds of updates on that. So he keeps us able to get into the computer and know what to change and what things have moved on and updated and what's been removed. AI has become a big part of nursing and, you know, healthcare. So we're learning all about that right now. So he's helping us with that. you've got surgery nursing. Surgery nurses, they have to be willing to be able to keep things as sterile. They have to be able to think on their feet. They have to be able to willing to stand for a long period of time while they're helping surgeons. And then I've got psychiatric nurses that deal with geriatric patients who are going through all different seasons of their life, loss of loved ones. They're going through dementia, Alzheimer's. We're just seeing all ages of psych issues. So those are special nurses, too, that don't tend to do as much of the medical, but they do the psychiatric part of it. So, and that's just in our small little hospital.
I know. I'm just overwhelmed with how many different routes you can take once you say, hey, I want to be a nurse. So during training, are you sort of exposed to a variety of things and you can go, oh, that's appealing to me? Or do you sort of have to hit and miss until you get there?
So, that's one good thing about having the nursing program is you have clinicals and then preceptor days that you go to. So you have it's not where you have months and immerse yourself in that, but it can give you an opportunity to see, okay, this is what I like to do, or nope. I had an example. I had a young student a few years ago in the ER, and we had a patient come in, and they were extremely sick, started vomiting, and she was like, nope, this is not what I want to do. And I said, that's fine. You don't have to work in the ER. Not everyone's made for that. And so I said, keep looking, and that's what the school is for, is to be able to take them on clinicals and expose them to different units that they may enjoy an intensive care patient, because it's something they can focus in on. And really, there's some people who are very type A that everything has to be in order. Well, they tend to be ICU nurses because they're very detail focused. So there's all different personalities that fit the different areas of nursing too. My infection prevention nurse, she is amazing, and she keeps us on our toes. She keeps up with so many things to make sure that we've got the hospital as clean as possible and making sure we're doing everything to be as safe. It's just amazing what they do.
There's a lot of people, especially that are going on the route that you did, that non-traditional route, that you still have to pay the bills. Go to school or not, you got to pay the bills. So have you seen people who maybe go to Northeast or Northwest ICC and get a LPN job or a degree or certification, and then they work and they continue on in their education?
Yep, see it all the time. And a lot of my nurses were LPNs and then went back to school and was able to work. And Baptist is really great about allowing, schedules to work around that too. That's why I'm so grateful, because anytime we've got nurses or anybody in our hospital that wants to always improve and really promote themselves and into other different areas, we're going to support that. So we're really excited because we do have some programs through Baptist where I've got some LPNs that are provided the opportunity if they'd like to go to get their RN degree. There's grants out there and things like that. So we do encourage it. But a lot of the nurses I work with and a lot of the nurses that work there were LPNs before they became RNs.
I love that. And I'm glad you brought Booneville Baptist up. Just tell us a little bit about that hospital.
So I'm a little partial because it's the only hospital system I've ever worked for, but I'm also partial just for it to be Booneville. So I've lived in Booneville for 40 years, and what sets us apart is the fact that we're taking care of friends, family, church members, neighbors, just people we know, and there's always going to be someone that somebody knows. And Booneville residents like to connect with the nurses, and they like to know, well, who are your people? Who did who's your husband? I think I know him. I went to school with him. When they feel comfortable, then you've broken the barriers, because that way you can show that we're here to take care of you, the person, not just what you've come in for us to treat. And it makes a difference, because we do try to have that personal touch so that they will come back and trust us to be able to take care of them and their families. So that separates us, because we do know the people, and so you tend to do a whole lot when you know who you're taking care of.
Is there some service that Booneville Baptist offers that we might be surprised to learn about?
We have got a great surgery department. We have 2 general surgeons, podiatrists. We've got a great therapy department. So we have occupational, physical, and speech therapy, and they are blowing it out of the water. We have so many referrals, which is just great. And then we have Baptist now has a few BMG clinics. BMG is Baptist Medical Group, so it's part of the Baptist system where they've got doctors and we've got a surgeon. And so that's great to have that integrated into the hospital. We just got a brand new CT scanner that's up and running, that's state-of-the-art. We've got state-of-the-art mammography, state-of-the-art MRI. People don't realize we've got all these great resources.
Right here at home.
Right here at home.
With people
Absolutely. And what I love about Booneville is if you've got an issue, get to us. We will stabilize you and get you where you need to go if we don't provide that service. So that's what's important, is knowing that we can take care of you immediately and get you where you need to go.
Just another gym in Northeast Mississippi.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And we want people to know just how great we truly are. We have the best caring people, but we've got dedicated people to make sure that they provide the best care possible.
Fiona, I could talk to you all day long, but we have run out of time. I really appreciate you coming over and sharing your story with us. Your passion is contagious, and I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been great.
Shark fans, that's it for this edition of Heard It on the Shark. You can tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to find out what's going on from other local community leaders like Fiona. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for an interview, or if you want access to this interview, you can go to our website, shark1023.com, and click on that podcast tab. Keep it tuned to the Shark 1023 and have a great rest of the day. This show is made possible by JC Media, LLC in Ripley, Mississippi. JC Media owns the Shark 102.3 Classic Rock FM radio station where the show is hosted. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite app or stream episodes online at shark1023.com/podcasts. We also have an email in which you can share your feedback. That email is theshark1023@gmail.com.